All right, hey guys, welcome back to another Imperium Horizons playthrough. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of two of the civilizations that use the trade routes expansion or the module. We're going to be the Guptas. I hope I'm saying that right. And we're going to go against the Aksumites, and again, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm just pulling the score up for the end of the game. So yeah, these are kind of, at least from the user perspective, the player perspective, these are some of the more less complex ones of the six. So I just wanted to kind of give them a try and show you guys the trade routes module. So kind of the main changes to the trade routes module is that, at least for the Horizons deck, there are cards that have a little sword at the bottom down here. They're replaced with these ones that have the little pathway, this little trade route. Those swap those out. If you are using the trade routes with a classics or the legends commons deck, you don't do any changes. You just use that deck as is. So basically, you can swap out if you want to use trade routes with everything. Because the way I have it set up is I just have the trade route cards swapped out for the aggressive cards. So, and I'm going to be using trade routes no matter what civilization I use. So that's change number one. Change number two. So if you're using Horizons, you swap out the sword cards and their little icon on the bottom, and you switch them out for these ones with the little path, little trade route thing. If you're using commons from the other two games, you don't do any of that. The next change is that you add to the main. There are 8 trade route cards. 3 of them. Let me grab one to show you kind of the anatomy. So there are 9 total. There are these brown banner cards. There are 9 total, 1 to 3 plus 1. So you don't use that one for solo, obviously. You take 3 of them, put them underneath here. Take the remaining 5, remove 2 out of the game, and then put the other 3 into the main commons deck. And kind of the anatomy of the card is that they're brown like this. They come out. When they come out into play, you get to do the commerce ability. And then when you do a trade action, which I'll explain how to do that in a moment, you will put a goods token here and do that commerce ability. Once the thing has 3 goods on it, it can no longer have that commerce effect. However, you can spend an action to do the profitability and then either discard the card or put it in your history or exile it, kind of depending on what the card says. The card doesn't say what to do with it, then you just put it in your discard pile. So that's how that works. The bot has its own set of actions for all the trade routes, so we'll go over that when that comes up. But that's kind of the basic anatomy of that. So those get added in, and then there's an additional trade route fame card that gets added to the mix, and then you add that in, shuffle, and still remove 2. So there's an extra fame card in there as well, and you get a 6th exhaust token. So I think that's kind of it. And then the merchant card, which is an additional power card, it starts off as a merchant, and you can exhaust it to acquire a trade route and exile a card from the market. So you can take a trade route from the main board here, or the commons area, and then or you can or you can trade. And trading is either placing a good on one of your trade routes to do the commerce effect, placing a good from the supply onto an opponent's trade route to get the effect and you gain a good, and then spending a progress for a good. Those are the options for trading. And then you can pay 3 goods to flip this over after you exhaust it to a merchant empire, and it's got 2 of the bag symbols and this little handshaky symbol. And you can exhaust this to choose to either trade or pay 3 goods to acquire a civilized and uncivilized card. Or if there's nothing garrisoned here, you can pay 5 to garrison an ongoing card from your hand to take the top card of the fame deck, and at the end of the game it's worth 2 victory points. It's worth 1 victory point per 2 of those bag symbols, so it's worth 1 automatically on its own. So that's kind of it. We're going to be going against the Aksumites. The bot has its own priorities on how it flips this over, so we'll kind of go over that as that time, but it starts off in the merchant side. We've got their chart here, and then we're going to be the Guptas? I hope I'm saying that right. So passive, when you would gain a progress on a card in the market, instead, when you would place a card with progress on a card in the market, instead place a good, and then you can exhaust to take a what is that word? Unrest to free play a trade route from your discard pile or trade. So we're going to be really heavily into the trading. The B side is just you get +1, or when you place the thing the progress out, instead you put a good, and then at the end of the game it's worth 3 victory points per trade route, where this is worth 1 victory point per 3 goods. So we're going to be trying to do that. So let's just hop into it here. So we're going to drop to our 5 cards, and let's kind of get into it here. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so oh, and the other change too is that instead of starting with the progress, we start with the good. Now, if you remember, goods activate all this stuff, but if you're not using that or you want to use the good for something else, a good can substitute one population or two materials, just the same way a progress would, but a progress gets you a point at the end of the game where a good doesn't. Okay, so this is our opening hand here, and I think what we want to do was want to probably get some of these. So I'm going to actually spend an action to do conquer. We're going to spend our two population, and we're going to take scrubland. You may draw a card, and then solstice draw a card if able. Place. You may garrison a card, and then on your solstice draw a card if able, and then place a card on top of your deck. So kind of limiting what we can do, but I want the icons. So we are going to then do the great oh gosh, I can't even pronounce this. Solstice, discard a card to choose to draw a card or gain a material or pay 2 material for a good. So we're going to place that out here. Well, I'm going to put it down here. And I think I'll put these up here kind of so you guys can see what the resources I have are. And I'm going to flip to put out scrubland. And we're going to discard everything else. We're going to discard. We're going to put our good out here, and I think I'm going to put it on. I think I want to put it here, so we can try to maybe, hopefully, use that tributary for something. So let's go ahead and draw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's 2 unrest right there. Each player may draw a card. Okay, that's interesting. I kind of like that. Okay. All right. So we're going to roll the dice for the bot. And I'm going to use, instead of moving the dice out, I'm just going to leave it in here, and then we're just going to place this exhaust token to know which card not to place. So in this case, it's 2. And we have the bot's barbaric side here. So it's kind of an overview of everything we need to do. So on unrest, we're going to put a card from the unrest pile. We're going to play and trigger the, what is that card called? Trade route, and I'll go over what those look like. Pretty standard here when they would play a region card, it's going to get them a population and a material. If they get a tributary, spend 2 to break through for a region or for a So we're going to be competing here a bit for some of these trade route cards. So let's go ahead and get into it here. So we're going to flip. They have a region, so they're going to put this region into play. I think for the sake of space, we're just going to place it here. The trade routes they're going to have a bunch of trade routes at some point. So we're going to place that region here. They're going to gain a material and a material and a population. Just put those here. And they're going to exile a card from the market. That one is gone. We're going to replace it with Byzantines. Prosperity, that's other, so discard the top 3 cards of the bot deck. Return an unrest. So we're going to return that unrest. And then acquire a card from the market, and I can draw a card. So they're going to acquire a card from the market. They're going to go for... so these all have... Oh, this is 5, so they're going to get this one. Okay. They're going to go for the one with the most points, but... And we can draw a card. And actually, we're going to draw a card. So we're actually flipping through our deck now, which is nice. Okay. They have Conqueror, which is going to come down here. They're going to spend 3 material. They can't. If unable, spend 2 population. They can't. And if still unable, gain a progress. They're going to gain a progress. And then finally, we have Advance, which is also going to be the same thing. And they can't do any of that stuff, so they're going to gain a progress again. And then the big change here for the bot is that now there is a step before they place the progress or whatever they're going to place out. At the end of the round, at the end of their turn, they're going to place something out. So before they do that, they will do, depending on if they're a merchant empire or a merchants, and I printed this from BGG. So they're going to do is they're going to see if they can acquire a trade route. There is no trade route for them to acquire. Then they're going to see if they can pay 5 goods to gain the top card of the Fame deck and flip this to a thing. They can't do that. They're going to resolve profitabilities. They don't have any of those. So then they're going to trade. And when they trade, there's a whole other thing for that. So this is the kind of the chart when they trade. If they trade, they are going to look for the trade route with the most goods there already that has less than 3. They're going to trade on that one. If there's ties, then they'll go for their own over ours. And then if there are still ties, there's a chart. The chart is the order in which they take them. If they don't have any of that stuff to do, they'll take a progress and swap it for a good. And then if they don't have a progress, then they would do nothing. And in this case, they're going to swap this for a good. So they're going to swap this for a good. And I'm actually going to put this on their card here just to kind of help keep track of these. So, all right, and then they're going to place a we're going to place that out, and then we're going to move on down. Okay, so it's our go here. We've got a couple Solstice abilities. So first we can draw a card if able, and then place the card back on top of our deck. And I think I want to place out this. Then discard a card to either draw a card, gain a material, or pay 2 material for a good. I'm going to gain the material. All right, so we've got a few different things here. Exhaust, pay 2 material to acquire this with a good on it, or add 1 to a card in the market. All the players may gain 2. Solstice, choose to abandon or discard a card. Okay, so I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play this, which is Gupta. Each player may draw a card. He can't because he doesn't have a deck. Breakthrough for a trade route. Put this into your history. So we're going to break through for a trade route. So we're going to go from here and go boom. Okay, we have the Nile Corridor, so we're going to get that one. As a commerce effect, we can free play a card, and then at our profitability, we can break through for a civilized card, or for an empire will develop, and then we put this in our history. So we're going to do that, which is kind of nice. So we're going to get that here. I'm going to exhaust our Guptas power card to take this to free play this, and then as the commerce, since we free played this, we get the commerce ability, which is going to let us play this region card for free. We're going to gain a population for that. I'm going to spend my next action to play Indus River Valley. So we play Ganga River Valley. Indus River Valley is going to get us 2 material. Let's see. I've got one more action. We're going to use our last action to play this unrest by discarding these 2 cards. And then I think that might be it. So let's put a good out, and we're going to put that good out on that. Okay. So let's draw up. Let's remove our exhaust tokens, and we'll reactivate that. Let's draw up 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to gain another card. We're just running through our Dynasty deck here. I like this Nile Corridor card just because we'll get a lot of, we can free play stuff. So, all right, let's do the bot. And they're going to be 2. So we've got another one of those. They're going to put that into play. They're going to exile a card from the market. And they're going to gain their material and their population. This is going to be spend 3 material. They can't. If unable, spend 2 population to acquire a they're going to acquire a tributary or a region, and they're going to take this tributary, which is what I wanted, which is kind of a bummer, but you know what? It is what it is. So we're going to get that card, and then this is going to go into their history. Let's refill this. We have City of Axum, which is an ongoing card. Return a unrest, which they don't have. Gain a population. Put this into your history. And finally, they have an unrest, which goes back to the pile. Now they're going to trade. There is no there's no trade route to acquire. There's no they don't have 5 material. They have no profit effects. So they're going to trade. So they're going to trade. They're going to trade on our Nile Corridor. So they're going to take a good from the supply, place it on there, and they're going to gain a good. And you can see here, so it says right here, when the bot selects trade, ignore all that have 3 on them already, and it selects the one with the most, which this one has 0, but it's the only one in play. So if it selects your trade route, place a good on the card, and the bot gains a good and triggers the card effect. It always takes from the supply for this. Now the commerce effect for Nile Corridor for the bot is going to be right here. Resolve the top card of the bot deck. So we're just going to look at this, and it's an unrest. It's going to go back. And that's it. So let's add that there, and then we're going to draw their deck. When the profitability is satisfied for the card, we get all the goods. So that's kind of the thing, is that like you're using someone else's ability, but you're giving them goods by doing so. So okay, so Solstice abilities again. First off, let's we can discard a card to draw a card, gain a material, or trade 2 material for a good. I think I want to I'm going to draw a card from this one, and I'm going to put this back, and I think I'm going to... This is interesting. I want to wait to get that out maybe. I think I'm going to discard a card to gain a a material. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to exhaust the... Oh, I didn't do that right. We're going to wait a second. Okay, first things first. So we have Height of Civilization. Choose to draw 3 cards or gain 2 material per bag icon, which would be 8. Or gain 2 material or 2 population per one of these, or gain 1. Oh man, there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of options for that. Okay, we're going to first play Shreni. So it says exhaust to pay 2 material to acquire a civilized or uncivilized card with a trade route, or add a trade route to a card in the market, and all players gain 2 material. And then Solstice, either choose to abandon an ongoing card or discard a card. So we're going to put that into play here. So action number 1, we're going to exhaust this and pay 2 to acquire the city card here. Okay, we're going to exhaust our merchant card to do our trade route ability on Nile Corridor to free play cities. Sorry about the green screen there. Choose to you can choose to discard a card to gain one of those things or draw a card. So that's going to come into play. We have another action left. I'm trying to think about the best way to go about... Oh, we have 2 actions left because we free played the one thing. I kind of want that Savannah. I want to hold on to Height of Civilization because I think there's going to be a time and place for it. Let's use Prosperity, and we're going to gain... so we can either gain a material for every bag icons. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 material, or we can gain 1 population per region, and we're going to gain the population. So we're going to get 3 population here. We may draw a card, and the bot's going to draw a card. By drawing a card, they're going to discard a card, but we're going to draw. And then I think finally we're going to do our last one for Conquer. Spend 2 to take Savannah, which is draw a card, exile a card from the market. You can garrison a card. Pretty standard stuff there. Okay, so I think that's going to be it. We're going to discard our hand. We are going to undo our cards there. And then we are going to place a good out. I'm going to place that good. I'm going to place it here. Okay, let's draw up. There's 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see the bots. Oops, it was a 5. Unrest, it's going to go back. We have a barbarian symbol, spend 3 material. They can't do that. Spend 2 goods. I'm sorry, 2 population. They can't do that. They're going to gain a progress. Prosperity, they're going to discard the top 3 cards of the bot deck, so they only have 2 to discard. They're going to return any unrests. They're going to acquire a card from the market. They're going to get this one. And then we can draw a card. We have an ongoing card, return. This is going to return an unrest. They don't have one. They're going to gain a population, and this is going to go to their history. And then they're going to trade, and again, they're going to do this. They're going to trade with Nile Corridor, which is going to let them resolve the top card of the bot deck. That fills that up. And then now they're going to place their progress out on the 5th card here. We're going to add that. Let's flip this over. Okay. Got a lot of stuff going on for our solstice right now. So let's think about this. So first off, we can draw a card. But we need to put something back. That's a lot of unrest. Do I just like... Maybe I just like forego this turn, do a revolt action to get rid of all this stuff. I think that's what I'm going to do actually. So we're going to discard this. Oh, I got to put something back. So what do I want to put back? we are going to put back prosperity. So that was for this ability. For this ability, discard a card to choose to, we're going to spend, now I'm actually going to gain the material. We're going to do this garrison effect, which is just going to be discard a card. We're going to do this garrison effect, which is going to discard a card. I'm going to gain a population. So this doesn't happen often, but we're going to do this. We're going to do a revolt turn, which means that we don't play anything, and we just get rid of all of our unrest. Which I believe, let me just make sure that's the, it should be the correct, it happens very, very infrequently, but it's one of the actions you can do. Yeah, so as you allowed you to permanently remove any number of unrest from your deck without spending resources at the expense of not doing anything else. So we're doing a revolt turn. So we're going to move on to cleanup. We're going to place this out, and I'm going to place this out on this card. Oh, that's the only region in play. It'll take that region if needed. It'll take this. I'll place that here. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to draw up. Oh, let's remove our tokens here. There's 4. All right, so I know it's kind of a, it's either you spend all that time, you spend all the time getting rid of them while doing other stuff, or you just get rid of them now. So we've done that. Let's go ahead and roll for the bot. 3. Conquer, so they're going to spend 3 material. They can't. They're going to spend 2 population. They are going to do that to acquire a tributary or a region. So they're going to get this region because it's the only one in play. This is going to be sent to their history. Same thing again. They can do either one. So they're going to gain a progress, which I'm going to swap this out for a 5. This gets discarded. We are going to do an ongoing card, return a thing. They can't do that, so they're going to gain that, and this goes to their history. And then advance. Similar situation, they're going to gain a progress, and this gets discarded. They're going to trade. There's no thing for them to get. There's no profitabilities for them to get, and there is no trade route for them to trade with. So they're going to swap this out for a trade good. Now, next round, they're going to pay those and take the top card of the Fame deck and flip their merchant card over. And then the kind of the things that do at the end of the round change depending on that, which I'll show here in a bit. So let's go through all of our solstice abilities. We've got a lot here. So first off, we're going to, we can either abandon an ongoing card or discard a card to keep that in play. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to discard a card to keep this in play. I'm going to draw the top card of my deck and then put something back. I'm going to put this back. Here, we can discard a card to choose to do one of these things. We're going to discard, I want to advance. Let's discard prosperity to draw a card. And then this one we can discard a card to gain something. I think I'm good. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to do this is we're going to let's see, what do we want to do? We're going to spend an action to advance, and we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to break through for a civilized or uncivilized card. Breakthrough for an exiled card. I don't think I want that. Let's take this. Can't play this yet, but we're getting close, which is why I grabbed it. We're going to spend an action to do Savannah. We can draw a card, exile a card from the market. We can garrison a card, but I'm going to wait on that. I need to time this right because I want to keep this in play. So I got to time this right to when we play this, we're gonna flip. So I'm going to hold on to that. I can't play that, so we're down to these two. Do I want epic poetry? Let's spend an action. We're actually going to exhaust this and spend the two material, but as instead of material, we're going to spend a good to acquire a card in the market with a good on it. So we're going to get this card, which is going to be undecipherable scroll, breakthrough for an exile card, and gain that and then exile a card. You know what? Let's just do it. I think we're gonna break through for Byzantines. We're gonna exile that card and we're gonna gain a good. I think that's all we can do. There's no exhaustibility that I want to do at the moment. Yeah. So we're going to discard our hand. We'll remove our exhaust tokens. Let's put a trade good out. I'm going to place that trade good on this. Let's draw up. Oh, I didn't want to discard. Hold on. I do not want to discard that. I'm going to keep that card. So we've got two cards there. Again, I've got to time it right so that we flip to an Empire while that card's in play. So we can just get the passive income of the population. So, okay. 5. We've got Prosperity, so discard top 3 cards of the bot deck. Return and Unrest. Each player draws a card. Oh. Acquire a card in the market. They're going to acquire this one. Okay. Lagoon, they're going to play Lagoon. They're going to get a population and a material. They're going to exile a card from the market. Spend 3 to acquire something. They're going to acquire this. They acquire a civilized or uncivilized card. Then we're going to put this in their history. Salt Mines, return and Unrest. Gain a population. Put this into your history. They're going to now, there's no trade route from their takes. They're going to spend these to flip and take the top card of the Fame deck. We're going to move on down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Solstice time. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a card. And then we're going to put something back on top. We are then going to... I'm not going to do this effect yet. We need to discard a card to choose to do something. So let's discard... We'll discard Prosperity. And we're going to use it to gain a material. Let's place out as our first action Rock Cut Architecture. So when we would break through or acquire a civilized or uncivilized card, exhaust this and discard a card to gain a trade good. Let's see. We're going to spend an action to do our Nile Corridor ability by putting all these out here. This is going to go into our history, and we're going to break through for a civilized card. We're going to take Epic Poetry, and then we did that. We're going to exhaust and discard a card from our hand. We're going to discard. Trying to see the timing here. We're going to discard. I'm going to keep that again. Kind of puts us in a weird spot. I guess we'll get this card and I'll discard it. I think I can do that. And we'll get a trade good for that. Let's move this down. Replace. Okay. We do have an action here. We can conquer. Let's spend. Let's do conquer, and we're going to spend 3 population to break through for this, which is breakthrough for a region. You may free play like a little sea card there, an ocean card, and put this into your history. Oh, there's a trade route. Okay, hold on. We're going to grab that too. We're going to exhaust merchants to acquire this trade route. We take the unrest, and we have to exile a card from the market. And we are going to exile from the market this card. So the trade route we got was Andes Highway, gain 2 population and a progress, and then at 3, put the top card of your deck. Put the top card, place the card on top of your deck and take the top card of the same deck and exile this card. So that's what that does. Can I free play this? Take an unrest to free play it, and then he'll be forced to activate it, which I don't kind of want him to do quite yet. I want to wait till next turn. So we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this, and I think I'm going to discard everything else. And we're going to draw up to 5. We're going to put our trade route card out. We're going to put it there. Okay. So next round we'll put out that other thing because we're going to flip over. So we're on 3 here. We're going to do punt. They're going to spend these 2 to acquire this because it's worth more points. This is going to go to their history. Welcoming. So they got this trade route. So welcoming is going to be a trade route over a fame card. So this comes into play when they play welcoming. For the commerce ability, they're going to resolve the top card of the dynasty deck, and the owner of this card also may draw a card. So they're going to resolve the top card of the dynasty deck, which in this case is unrest, and then they get to draw a card, which just puts that in the discard pile. They're going to do catamarans, discard, return a unrest, gain a population, put this card in your history, and then finally they have an unrest. So now they are going to do that effect. They're going to place that there. They're going to resolve the top card of the bot deck, or this deck, which is Glory. Glory for them abandons these 3 to take the top card of the Fame deck. And then they're going to draw a card, which will put that card there. Oh, Supreme. They got a bunch of points for that. That's kind of a bummer. Okay, that gets added. That goes there. So they're getting ready to flip over. Okay, so let's do all our Solstice abilities. So first Solstice ability is going to be to draw a card and put a card back on top. We're going to discard a card for this one. For this one, or for this one, let's see. I'm going to play this. I'm going to probably play this. Oh, advanced mathematics is interesting. Okay, and we're gonna discard Height of Civilization to get a material. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I'm gonna trade here. Oh, I have to play it out first. My bad. Let's flip over our tokens. So first first action to play Andes Highway. We're gonna gain the 2 of that and the progress. We're gonna trade to do it again. And I'm going to switch this progress out. I have 5, so I'm going to swap out 4 for swap that out. Then we're going to play Advanced Mathematics. So passive, increase your hand size by 1 if you have 0 cards at the beginning of the cleanup step, gain a progress. And then I'm going to place Ayurveda, which is Solstice, gain a population. If you are a barbarian state, discard a card. Oh, I thought it was discard this card. So I won't be, and I won't have to discard for it. Because we're getting ready to flip. I think that's it. I think that's all I can do. So let's put our trade good out, and I'm going to put that trade good out on... Why did this get added here? That seems odd. I wonder if that's fine. I probably mistakenly did that. That's okay. All right. We're going to put that on... Oh, trading cities both. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's draw up. We're going to draw 2. We're going to become an empire. So this is flips. And this is blocked off. And our hand size is increased by 1, and let's get our progress because we had 0 cards in our hand at the beginning of our turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or the beginning, I'm sorry, the beginning of the cleanup phase. All right. 2, unrest, Rift Valley. They're going to play this. They're going to exile a card from the market, and they're going to gain material and a good. This is going to be spend these 2 to acquire this. Oops, sorry. This gets put in their history. Prosperity, they're going to discard the top 3 cards of the bot deck. Return any unrest, but there are no unrest for them to return. They're going to acquire a card from the market, which they're going to acquire this one. And then we get to draw a card. And then finally, they're going to take this because that's the first thing they would do. They're going to take that. This is their new abilities. So they're going to acquire a trade route. They're going to resolve all profit effects. They're going to spend 3 goods to acquire a civilized or uncivilized card. And then finally, they'll trade. So something gets switched around a little bit, but that's pretty much what they're going to do. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we've got some Solstice abilities. So let's just do this one easily, which is going to get us a population. We have, let's see, we can draw a card and put something back. So I think I'm going to put back, this unrest. We can discard a card. So let's discard Conquer to get 2 goods. And then for this card, we're going to discard Advance to keep this in play. I think that's it. And we have this one, but I think I'm going to be fine on. So, okay. Do I have a little wavy card? I don't. But I can. Okay, let's see. How can we combo this here? So my glory card's in here somewhere. So I think what we want to do, we're going to first exhaust this to pay these 2 to acquire this card. This comes into play. We are then going to spend an action to play this. Melalu Kingdom. We can break through for a region card. Oh, I didn't exhaust this. Hold on. Let me do Rock Architecture. I'm going to exhaust Rock Architecture when I acquired that card to discard a card to gain a good. I forgot to do that, sorry. So we're going to do this. We're going to break through for a region, and then we can free play a card with that symbol and put this into our history. And in fact, the region that we just broke through for, we're going to play, which is Distant Lands. Gain a population, exile a card from the market, then exile another card from the market, and you can garrison a card. So we're going to play that. We're going to gain our population. We're going to start exiling some stuff. I'm going to get rid of, I kind of want that Swahili Coast. We're going to get rid of that. And we are going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of both of those. We are going to exhaust to trade on here to gain 2 population and a progress. We're going to do... Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I want to do. Hold on. Rewind for a moment. We're going to play this and then exhaust it to pay 1 to trade. So that's how we're trading. So I'm not exhausting this. We're going to play this, which is an action. We're going to pay 1 and we're going to trade, which I'm going to put, I guess I'm going to put like here. I'm running out of space. Then we're going to use our ability here to acquire the Swahili Coast. That's what I wanted to do. And exile a card from the market. We're going to exile this card. And then as our last action, we're going to play this unrest by discarding 2 cards to return this unrest to the unrest pile. I could free play the Swahili Coast by taking an unrest. Actually, let's do that. No, I'm not going to. So we're going to end our turn. I'm going to discard my hand. And in this case, we don't have, unfortunately, we don't have no cards in our hand, so we have to end up taking that, we don't end up getting the progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to get 6, which we're going to develop now. Let's see. Exhaust, draw a card. Solstice, you may return. Ooh, I kind of like that. All players return this. Gain. Let's see. This is interesting. So, how do we want to process here? I kind of like. We're gonna get judicial system. So we're actually gonna do this. This will be when we play it. Exhaust a card. Exhaust. Draw a card. Solstice, you may discard a card to return it unrest. So we're gonna pay 2 goods. We're gonna pay 2 material. And we're gonna pay 2 population. And we're gonna get judicial system. And we're gonna draw up to 1 more card. Okay. Ooh, there's some unrest here. Okay. 5. They have terraces, which is going to let them return an unrest. Gain a good, or a population, I'm sorry, and put this into your history. Unrest goes back. They're going to play Hopewell. Hopewell. It's Hopewell Exchange System, so that's the one that they're playing. When they play this card, they get to do... Where is it on the list? Discard top card of the bot deck, discard top card of the dynasty deck. So on discard top card of the bot deck, they're going to discard the top card of the dynasty deck. This is going to force them to flip, because now they are no longer a barbarian state. We're going to flip their card over. Now this is their new chart. So we'll deal with those as they come through. We are an unrest, so just put and return it to the pile. They are going to see if they can acquire a trade route. They cannot. Can they resolve profitabilities? They cannot. Can they pay 3 goods? They cannot. So they're going to trade. So they're going to trade with my Andes Highway. They're going to gain a good. And when they activate that effect, they gain 2 population and a progress. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Solstice City time. Let's gain our let's gain that. Actually, I can put this down here a little bit. We're going to gain that. We can draw a card, then place the card back on top. I want judicial system. We're going to place this unrest back on top. We are going to discard a card to gain a good here. And I think, and then we're going to discard another card to gain another good there. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. I think the first thing we're going to do is prosperity. So for prosperity, let's use it to gain, well actually, hold on. Okay, first actually we're not going to do prosperity. We are going to exhaust merchants and spend these 3 goods to flip to a merchant empire. Now we're going to do prosperity. Prosperity is going to get us 1 material for every bag symbol. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is going to be 8 We're going to swap this for 2. We're going to draw a card, and the bot's going to draw a card, but they cannot. So that was action number 1. Action number 2 is going to be Glory. We're going to abandon 3 regions. So we're going to abandon this region, and this region. To look at the top 2 cards of the Fame deck and decide which one we want to keep. So we've got Brave, free play for the rest of the turn. When you acquire a card, you may immediately free play the Unrest taken, and then you've got Interpret, free play, Exhaust when you acquire a card. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take free, but I'm going to take Brave. I want to get Judicial System out, but I also want to do our ability there. So actually, let's do Judicial System. So we can exhaust it to draw a card. And then let's free play Brave. So again, for the rest of the turn, when you would acquire a card, you may immediately free play the Unrest taken. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to exhaust Shrenry to pay 2 material. So I'm going to swap that out for a 5 and 4, or 3 of these. To acquire this from the market, we're going to get this here. This comes into play. And then because I did the other thing, we can free play this by discarding 2 cards. That gets put back. And then we also did this, which we can exhaust it and discard a card to gain another trade good. And I almost got rid of my whole hand, but I'm going to get rid of this with Judicial System. So I think that's all we're going to do. So let's undo all of our exhaust tokens. Let's put a good out. I'm going to put that good out on Mercenaries. And I'm going to keep this in my hand. I'm going to draw up 2, 6. Okay. 3. Okay, so they have an Empire card. Acquire a card from the market with with a material on it. If unable, breakthrough for a so acquire a good with material. Acquire a card on the market with material. If unable, breakthrough for a region and breakthrough for this, which is not at all what I was hoping for. And then put this card into your history. City of Adulis, which is an ongoing card, gain a material. Add 1 material to a market, the market space with the dice, which is going to be this. Oh, and they're going to get that card. Well, they might not get that card. Discard top card of the bot deck. Put this card into your history. Supreme, which is going to be breakthrough for a trade route. They're going to break through for this one. Put this card into your history. And then they're going to play this region. Exile a card from the market. And gain a... let's put this back. And we're going to gain a... we're going to gain a population there. They are going to acquire Philippine Jade Route. And let's put the progress out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. They still haven't done their shuffling. Okay, let's get a population for this card. Let's get Solstice here. We're going to discard a card to return an unrest. We're going to discard a card to keep this in play. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to discard a card here to draw a card. And then we're going to discard a card to keep this in play. Okay. I think that's fine. So we're going to spend an action to play Trading City. We're going to spend an action to play Metropolis. So basically these kind of things stack on each other. These kind of things kind of stack on each other. So we're just going to put these together like this. I'm kind of running out of space here. What do we want? Do we want anything? I can play this to just get rid of it. I guess I can play this and pay the 1 population to remove the unrest. Let's exhaust this and spend these 2 to add a trade good to a card in the market, and all players may gain 2 of these. And the card we're going to add to the market, we're going to add it to this in hopes that it's fine. And then we're going to add this to that. All right, so we're going to draw up. We're going to gain a progress because we have no cards in our hand during cleanup. And then we are going to pull that back, and we're going to develop again. And I think developing, we're going to develop for Chandragupta 1. So it's going to be 1 population, 1 trade good, and 2 materials. It says cannot be played unless Chandragupta is in your history, which it is. Breakthrough for a trade route or a civilized card, and put this card in your history. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay. Bot's going to stay on 1. Let's flip. Unrest. We're going to return that. They have Philippines Jade Trade, which that commerce effect is going to be. Oh, they should be getting a progress, which they might have. I think they got a progress for this too, so I missed that. So they're going to get a progress for playing both of those. That's an additional effect that I missed. So I'm going to swap this out for a 10. But the Philippines Jade Trade, they're going to acquire a card in slot 1 or 2. They're going to acquire. This one's worth 3 victory points. This one's worth 3 victory points, but this has more tokens. They're going to take this one, which I wanted, so that's kind of a bummer. Cornwall Tin Road, they're going to play that. They're going to gain another progress. Cornwall Tin Road is going to give them acquire uncivilized card. If unable, discard the top 2 cards of the bot deck. And then finally, they're going to play this, which is going to exile a card from the market. And then they're going to gain, oh, there's their uncivilized card. They're going to gain a population. And then they're going to trade. There's no one of those out there. They can't resolve a profitability. Oh, they can pay 3 here to acquire. So they're actually going to pay those 3 to acquire a card in the market, and they're going to acquire this one. Again, it's worth more points, so they're going to take that one. And then they're going to add that. Okay, so 1, 2, they're going to add that. Oops. Okay, so we don't have a unrest to return. We do have to discard some stuff if we want to. We're going to gain our material or our population here. We are going to. I'm going to keep this in my hand. We're going to discard a card to keep this into play. We can discard a card to get some stuff. So I'm going to discard Conquer to draw a card, and then discard Swahili Coast to draw a card. I think I'm going to leave everything else. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually exhaust. Oh, no, I can't do that yet. We're going to spend the action to do the profitability. So we're going to put these cards here to do this profitability, which is we're going to exile this card to take the top card of the Fame deck, which is going to be this. We're actually going to free play it. So when you acquire a card, exhaust this to either draw a card or gain a progress. So we're going to put that card into play. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to exhaust the Merchant Empire to pay 5 goods to put an ongoing card from our hand underneath that to take the top card of the Fame deck, which is going to be determined. We can break through for a tributary or a region. You can garrison a card in a region with no other garrison cards to trigger that card's effect again. We're going to spend an action to do this, which is going to let us break through for a tributary. Break through for an uncivilized card or a trade route. Let's break through for a uncivilized card. Okay. Just making sure that was the first one. It is. Yep, okay. This card goes into our history. Let's see what else we have. How many of these hand symbols I have? I have 1, 2, 3. Let's play Height of Civilization. I don't think I have any more of those hand symbols. Height of Civilization, we can either choose to draw 3 cards. We can gain 2 material per bag icon, 2 population per region, or gain 1 good and 1 progress for each of those hand symbols, those trades. I think they're trade symbols. You have in play and then put this card in your history. We have 1, 2, 3 of those in play, so we're going to get 3 trade goods and 3 progress. I don't need more cards. And then we're going to do Brave. That's a free play. We're going to exhaust this to pay the 2. To acquire this card from the market. And in doing so, we are going to then activate this, so we can exhaust that to gain a progress. We can exhaust this and discard a card to gain a good, and then because we did Brave, we can immediately free play this unrest, so we're going to discard these 2 to free play the unrest. I think that's it. That was a lot of stuff we just did. But I think that's all we can do. How many cards do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. It's not going to really matter for us to draw. Let's exhaust a Judicial System draw card. Okay. Okay. So we're not going to be able to do our effect of putting out, getting a progress, but let's consolidate some of this a bit. So I've got 5 of those. This is going to be 5 plus this one's 10. Okay, so we're going to discard this and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to move our unexhaust tokens off of every space. And let's put a trade good out, and we're going to put that good out on there. Okay, oh, and then we have an unrest to return. Great. Okay, that was a big turn there. So 6, so they're going to just do everything. So they're going to play this out. They are going to exile a card from the market, and they're going to gain a good, or a population, sorry. You gain a population, right? Yeah. Unrest returns. Scribes acquire a card in the market with material, which there isn't, so otherwise they're going to break through for this and break through for this, which is a huge bummer. Again, because I kind of wanted that card, but you know what, it's fine. Oh, this goes... Wait a minute, where'd this come from? Oh, that was the card that they played. And then put in their history. Okay, I got confused for a second. Maritime Spice Route, they're going to play this out, which will go... I'm just going to stick it here, I guess, because at this point they don't have room for it. They're going to acquire a card with the little wavy symbol, and if not, they can, even from the exile. And there's this one, so they're going to acquire that card. Even when you acquire a card from the exile, you have to take an unrest if it's not a region, so they're going to take that. And then they're going to, and they're going to gain a progress for also playing that card. And then warehouse, they're going to gain a good. So let's actually swap these out for a 5. Then they're going to add a good to a card that's in the market based on the dice, but it's not there. Discard top card of the bot deck. Put this card in your history. Okay, so trade time. Can they acquire a Trade route, they cannot. Can they resolve profitabilities? They cannot. Can they pay 3 to get civilized and uncivil card? They cannot. So they're going to trade. They're going to trade with their welcoming card. And again, they're going to get to resolve the top card of the dynasty deck, which is going to be King Endibus, and then they're also going to draw a card. So this is going to be, they're going to break through for a card in the market with a thing. They can't. So they're going to break through for this. And they're going to break through for a civilized card, which they're going to get this one. And then that's going to go into their history. Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. Okay, so our go, we're going to get a population. We are going to discard a card to return this. We're going to abandon a ongoing card for this effect. For this effect, we need to discard a card. I'm going to discard Byzantines. We'll use it to draw a card. Okay. So I think first things first, let's play Indus River as our first action. We're going to gain 2 of those. We are then going to use an action to play Ganja River Valley to gain that. And then we're going to use our last action for Glory. In Glory, we're going to discard. We're going to discard these 3, or abandon those 3 to the top cards of the Fame deck, which are going to be Supreme and Influential. I'm taking Supreme just for the points. And then, so we've done all that. We can exhaust a trade, but I don't really want to trade. Okay, so I think we're actually going to just discard our hand. I can't discard Supreme. So Supreme, it's worth 11 points. No effect when played, cannot be discarded during your cleanup step, and cannot be garrisoned. So I guess I could play it, but it won't do anything. We're going to use it to discard for other stuff. So we're going to do all that. Or do I want to draw a card with Judicial System? Yeah, actually, let's do that. We're going to draw a card with Judicial System, which will let us do this, which we're going to spend for Chandra Gupta 2. Cannot be played unless the 1 is in your history, which it is. Breakthrough for a tributary. You may acquire an uncivilized card, or a civilized card, sorry, and then put this card into your history. So we're going to pay a good 2 and 2. Oops, too many cards. Okay. And I'm actually going to discard this and discard this, and I have to keep Supreme. So we're going to draw up 2, 6. And let's put our put this card out here. So let's put this card out on there. That gets removed. And that gets removed. Okay. All right. 5. So the Golden Mask is going to be an other. They're going to spend all of these for the same number of trade goods. So it's 6. One, two, three, four, 5. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 6 there. And then they're going to spend all of these for the same number of material. So that was 7 material. And then they're going to discard top card of the bot deck, and we can draw a card. Bogs, they're going to play this. They're going to exile a card from the market. And they're going to gain a population. Cultural diversity. This is going to fall to the bottom. They're going to spend these for trade goods. So that's 7. Which I think these are like every 5 are worth like a point or something. So There's 7, yep. Okay, there's 7. They're going to swap this for this. They're going to discard a card, and we're going to draw a card. Borderland. They're going to gain this. They're going to exile this. And they are going to do that. And then that's done. So they're going to do... they're going to first spend these 3 to acquire this card. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Solstice time. What do we got here? We're going to use this. We're going to abandon trading cities for this Solstice ability. We're going to gain our thing here. I don't have an unrest. We're going to discard this to draw a card. And we are going to discard this to draw another card. All right. Options, options, options. We're going to play Byzantines as our first action, which lets us break through for a tributary, put this into our history. So we're going to break through, and we're going to put... We're going to get Akkadians. And then when you acquire a card, exhaust this to choose to draw a card to gain a progress. If you break through, you can do both. So we're going to do that. We broke through, so we're going to get a progress, and we're going to draw a card. We're going to play this, which is going to let us break through for another tributary. We're going to break through for this one. We've triggered the end of the game because now the main deck is empty. So we break through for the tributary and put it into our history. Got a lot going on here. What do I want to do? We can exhaust this to draw a card. Oh, there's Determined. Breakthrough for another tributary. We can free play one of these. Two points for every bag and play. Maybe I get these into play. Let's play this to get the 2 material. That's a point there. I don't know if that's like the right thing to do, but we're going to see. Oh, actually, let me do this. We'll do this to free play this, and then you may garrison this card in a region to trigger that card's ability. We're going to garrison here to trigger its ability to draw a card, exile a card from the market. Okay, I'm going to keep that to get it out and play. I probably want to keep that, although it may be beneficial to do Glory because but I think this is 3 points. Yeah, from that was like 3 points. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Because I'll be able to basically get one more, I'll get one more of these. Or, let's do, actually we're going to do this. We're going to exhaust this to pay 3 goods to acquire this card. We're going to get the trade good on that because I think that's probably more beneficial for us to get that card. We can get rid of it with, we can get rid of the unrest with that. And we still have another turn after this, so I'm just trying to see how we can cycle through. But we're basically going to keep these 2 cards. I'm going to okay, so we're done. We're going to discard everything except for 2 cards. We're going to place a good out. I'm going to place it out, I guess, on this. And we're going to draw up. And we're going to develop again. And we're going to develop for philosophy. So this is, we're going to pay a good, 2 material, and a population. This is abandon a card to break through, but I really want it for 1 victory point per 5 cards. And we're going to see if we can run through our deck and be able to... And if he and the other thing, too, is if he can take... It might be worth flipping King of Kings if we can kind of deal with that, too. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. Okay, so we'll see what we can do with our last turn, but the bot's going to go. They're going to block off 3, and let's get with it. So they're going to do Convert to Christianity, which is a they're going to break through for a card with a material. They can't, so they're going to break through for this, and then put this into their history. Unrest is going to go back. Unrest and advance. They're going to add this to the dice slot, and they're going to gain this and put this into their history. Now, can they take a trade route? They cannot. Can they resolve profits? They can't. Can they acquire a civilized or uncivilized card? They cannot, so they're going to trade. So they're going to add this to welcoming. That's going to resolve the top card of the Dynasty deck for them, which is Aksumite Coinage, which is an ongoing card. They're going to gain this, add this here, discard top of the card of the bot deck, and put this into their history. And then that's going to get a progress. Okay, so this will be the final, our final turn. And let's see what we can do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do Judicial System. We're going to discard Advance to remove this from our deck. We are then going to get a population. We can abandon a card. So we're going to discard this to draw a card. Okay. And we're going to discard this to draw another card. And then we are going to abandon actually I want to keep this, I think. Let's abandon this to keep this in play. Okay, so we've got a couple different options here. I think we're going to play Brave first and foremost so we can free play any unrests. We're going to exhaust Shrenri to pay 2 of material to acquire a card. Oh no, I can't acquire that one. Never mind. I can't do that. Because it's a tributary. I thought it... yeah, I was tripping. Okay, that's fine. Let's do Swahili Coast as our first action. So Commerce effect is draw a card and gain a progress, and then the profit effect is breakthrough for one of those cards, including an exile card. So we're going to play that. It's going to give us a card draw and a one of those. We are then going to exhaust Trade Empire to put this here to draw a card and gain a progress. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would be 3 points, or I can just get 3 points. We're going to use an action to play Scrubland. We can garrison a card, Solstice, whatever. We're going to play Glory as our last action to abandon these 3. To take the top card of the Fame deck, which in this case is Influential. We can either draw 2 cards or free play a card, ignoring the symbol. But we're going to take that. I think if I free play something, I can break through. But there isn't something for me to break through for. That's just 3 points, I guess, for me to get. I'll play this to draw 2 cards, I guess. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's not enough. I was hoping I could maybe run through my deck. Oh, let's exhaust this to draw a card, which is going to be 7 cards. I think that's it. So we're going to discard our hand. We're going to place this out. I guess I'll place that there. Doesn't really matter. That goes back, that goes back, that goes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just shy of being able to develop. Okay. Bot's last turn, they're going to block off 4. So let's see what they got to do. So Oracle, they're going to add this to a card in the market under this space. There's nothing available there, so I guess they won't do that. They're going to gain a trade good, and they are going to put this card into their history. That region, they're going to play that region. They're going to abandon a card they cannot. They're going to then gain this. They're going to do Glory, which is going to abandon these 3. They're going to take 6. This already flipped over. They're going to take 6 Progress. And I think they just discard the top card of the their Dynasty deck. King of Kings, hold on. I never remember it. It doesn't always often get to this point either. So King of Kings, I'm sorry, they don't get 6, they get 3. I gave them too much. If the bot's in the game 3 and draws the top card of the Dynasty deck, placing it on top of the bot deck. Okay. So this gets added to the bot deck, which is super unfortunate. And then they're going to play that out, abandon something, and gain a population. Then they're going to do their profitability. So they're going to profit for welcoming, which is going to put these here. When they profit for welcoming, they break through for the top card of the main deck and resolve it. There isn't anything there. If it's 0 victory points, they're going to gain 1. They're going to gain a progress, which they do. And then this gets moved down, and then they draw up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna just sweep these back up. Let's do our solstice effects really quickly, and then we'll keep it going. So with our solstice stuff, actually maybe we can do something here. So we're going to discard a card to draw a card. We're gonna draw a card, which is gonna force us to do this. Oh, I can't though. I can't because I don't have any goods. Darn it. I'm going to abandon this. Darn it. I don't have any goods. So I could flip it, but I can't develop anything because I need a good for it. And you can't use a progress in place of a good. I don't think so. Let me just make sure. You cannot spend progress as if it were a trade good nor vice versa. Okay. So that's going to be it. So let's count our points up. This is my discard pile and this is my hand. We did not get those 2 cards, which is unfortunate, and this is our history, and this is our cards that are garrisoned here. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, so let's see. I have for population, I have 8 there, and for progress, I don't have a lot. Okay, so we have 3, we have 8 here. We have 18, and we have 0. The bot has 2. They've got 3. I'm probably going to get annihilated here. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait a minute. 9. There's 7, 8, 9, 19. Oh, not 49. Holy cow. Nope, not 49. And then trade goods, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. And this card went in our history, by the way. 17. All right, so we're on our A side, which I'm kind of regretting, but that's okay. And then we're Merchants Empire. We're on our A side. Cards in play. So let's kind of go over to the Gupta cards. We have Judicial System in play. We have Rock Cut Architecture. We have Advanced Mathematics. We have Sarthvanaha. I apologize for butchering that if the Swahili Coast is in play. We have that in play. We have City in play. And we have Metropolis in play. Where's Metropolis? There. Garrison cards. The only thing we have garrison is trade caravans, and it's underneath our merchant empire. Okay. So cards in history. We've got Gupta, Nile Corridor, Malayu Empire. We've got this and this. Height of Civilization and Byzantines. Cards in our hand. Let's sort these out here. So we're going to do, let's see, let's get all of the, let me get all these out. These are all of the Gupta specific cards. Basically, we have everything from them with the exception of science and Mahabharati. I hope I said that right, so I apologize again if I didn't say those correctly. So those cards are all taken care of. Let's go uncivilized cards. We have epic poetry. I still never know how to say that in couriers. Couriers. I don't know why I said it like that either. Okay. For fame cards, we have Supreme, which we got one of, which is nice, but I wish I would have got the other one. We have Influential, just mainly because the bot got one. We got Brave, which is another high one, and we got Determined, which is worth 0 points, which is kind of a bummer. For these cards, we have Savannah, we have Scrubland, and we have Distant Island. For trade routes, we have the only one there. For tributaries, we have Acadians, which never even played, which would have got us a trade route. We have that, and then finally, we have Trading City and Elders. So Trading City and Elder. Okay, I think that's it. 92. Golly, I hope this is going to work out for us. Okay, so the bot. So the bot, everything of theirs is basically this big stack. They got everything except this card for their cards. So let's just omit those. Scoring them is pretty easy, but their points are going to add up. Oh, they do have an unrest. Okay, so all of these cards, they have basically... Oh, and they have all these cards in play. Oh, and they have all these. Okay. So let's do all of their cards with the exception of this... that tributary card there. Okay, they're at 49 points already. Okay, so we're going to start with civilized cards. Let's see what we got here. So they have mercenaries, which is 5 points. Warehouse, scribes, and moneylenders, which is another 10 points there. Moneylenders and scribes. We're going to do fame cards next, which we know they have a supreme. They have welcoming. That's actually all they got. Okay. Supreme and welcoming. They're already at 82 points. What? Oh, we're not winning this game. There's no way, because there's 5 points right there. So Borderland, ugh. Bogs. Glacier, which is 3, I think, or 2 points. Oh, that's one of their cards. Alluvian Plain, Rift Delta. Oh, no, Rift Valley, not Rift Delta. Rift Valley, Lagoon, and Valley. Oh. They have Hopewell, System, Maritime. Oh, that's one of their cards. Philippines, Jade Trade. Yeah, alright. That's a wrap. It is a wrap. Rappity wrap. They have one tributary, which is Punt. And then their uncivilized cards, they have Trading... Oh, hold on. Let me put that back. They have Trading Post. So many points. There's 20 points right here. 25 points right there. Oh my gosh. They got so many points. And they have an unrest. Holy cow, they got so many points right there. This is where I messed up. There was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 points straight just from that. I mean, that was a third of my score. That's where I really messed up. But that's going to be it. There's an example with the trade routes module. I got kind of destroyed there, but you know what? It is what it is. We had fun doing it. Yeah, so I plan on doing. There's a couple other things I want to do. I want to do some. Playthroughs with the with some legend stuff because we haven't done that yet, and I can use the trade route. You can see trade routes with non-Horizon stuff, which would be fun. So I want to do some legend stuff, and I also want to do. There's the training mode, which is just you running your own thing for like 12 turns. So we can see that. And then there's a short variant that makes some changes, and I kind of want to do that. So we'll kind of see about those coming up. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.